Hey, I'm excited to have Cassandra Wood with Buttercup Bride Boutique with us today for our business spotlight. I'm Brent Thompson, a local business coach here at Action Coach Lake Norman, your local education and training business coaching firm in the Lake Norman area. So, Cassandra, if you would just please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, your product, your service, and all that you do in the area.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Cassandra Wood. I've been in the Lake Norman area, I guess about 13 years now, which flew by. Um, I've kind of always had a background in sales, um, and desperately wanted something a little bit more personal. So, getting out of corporate was a blessing for sure. And I've always had an interest in fashion. And then I've always had an interest in serving. So it kind of blended together into this perfect mix of being able to help women have the most memorable experience and serving them, but then also adding in the fashion piece, which is always very exciting to me. So that's kind of where Buttercup Bride came from. But our real specialized thing about us, I guess, is our truly personal, relational service that we offer. It's a very intimate experience. We're not a large warehouse with thousands of dresses and hundreds of brides running all over the place. It's really a one-on-one personal experience. So we pride ourselves on that for sure.
No, that sounds awesome. So I want you to kind of take it back to when you first started the business at square one. If you could do things differently, what do you think you would have done differently starting out?
What would I have done differently? So I guess in the beginning, we had half the shop was bridal, and then the backside of our shop was prom. And as much as I love the fashion of prom, there was kind of a disconnect there on what our brand was, because bridal is a very specific thing. So I now we offer bridal, mother of the bride, bridesmaid. I think I would have gone that direction from the beginning and not had the prom. So we had a distinction of who we were as a brand.
Right. Yeah, we can't go back in time, but we definitely learn learn as we go.
Absolutely.
Systems, processes, all of that. So and that will change again probably at some point, always
Right.
refining, always fine tuning. So that's good. That's a big learning. So that kind of leads to my next question. If you can take your time that you've been a business owner and an employer, what do you think your biggest learning, your biggest lesson has been since you've started your business?
Hmm. I would say employees. I think that and I've known coming from being an employee, I've known how important, especially in sales, your employees are, but really pouring the time into them to develop them. I think it's easy as an employer to hire someone and then you're like, yeah, they're not going to work and move on. But I think when you're able to coach and mentor your employees, see their weaknesses, and be able to kind of step in and take them under your wing and guide them is a lot more valuable than just cutting your losses.
No, that's good. That's probably the trend I hear the most right now is hiring and retention. Huge deal. And that is huge lesson that you can learn and take forward. That is a fact.
Yeah.
And you are with so many other business owners that I talk to that investment in the employees is awesome because you want to keep good ones. And we always say you hire slow and you fire fast. It's
Right, right,
but hiring slow means you don't have to fire in the future, which is what we want, right? All right,
right.
moving on. What are some common misconceptions that you found as a business owner that maybe you didn't know, and how do you address those now that you do have an enlightenment on the misconceptions?
The biggest thing, we joke about this all the time, as people who don't own businesses assume that you are a business owner, you are rich. Um, and you have, all the freedom and you're just traveling all the time. And it just is when you open a business, especially in the first few years, you are your own employee 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't stop. When I go home, I'm researching I'm paying vendors, I'm doing payroll, I'm paying taxes. It just is constant. I'm dealing with, issues that may arise with customers or vendors. So I think that it was you learn it very quickly when you jump in. You're like, oh, wow, this is a lot. It's rewarding, but I think people think, you just kind of open your doors and people come in and there you have it. And it's really this constant improvement and constant work that has to go into it.
Right. That is a common misconception that if you are
Yeah.
a business owner, you are rich and you have all the time in the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
not the case.
No.
So in your time, it sounds like you've had some lessons. You've gotten through some misconceptions. You've had some growth. It sounds like all lessons learned, which is awesome. What do you attribute your growth to?
Our growth has been word of mouth, truly. Sometimes I'm not a super emotional person, but I feel like I get really emotional when our customers at the end of the appointment say, this was the best experience we could have asked for. We have brides who come in who have been other places and they say, this was worlds above anything we could have imagined. And it was so magical, all those things. That's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is how we've grown, just because brides are super excited to share their experience with other people. Like, you got to check this place out. Don't go anywhere else. You're going to love this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's honestly how we've grown. It's been very organic.
Good. So I'm going to hit on another side now. So that's your business growth. Now let's kind of transition over to you as a business owner. You've grown the business, and I'm sure you have grown as an owner and as a human as well through this process.
Yeah.
What can you attribute to the growth personally in your own development as an owner?
Let's see. I think knowing how much you don't know and being willing to admit it and get the education you need. I think we opened the business very quickly, and I thought I knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
And very quickly I learned that I didn't. There was a lot that I still needed to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's easy to stay stagnant and just keep doing what you're doing. But in order to grow as a person, I think you have to be able to admit where your shortcomings are. And you can't stay in that place either. You then have to educate yourself. Like, there's an issue, you have to address it and solve the problem.
Right. So the best leaders and the best business owners are the most humble ones, because that's, you learn the lessons faster when you realize you don't have all the answers. So
Yes.
that's awesome. That's awesome it's a character quality. Sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. It sounds like you do. So that exponentially helps you grow as a human, also helps you to grow as an owner, which in turn helps your business to grow. So good on you for the humility to know that you don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of similar personally, as a business owner, you mentioned it earlier, it's super busy. There's always something to do. You're not just at the boutique. You're not always with customers. There's the back end. There's all the things, all the time that you have to put into marketing, to advertising, to everything that you do. So how do you as a business owner try to separate those things and have some sort of work-life balance? Do you have work-life balance at the time? And maybe if you don't and aren't where you really want to be, what do you think you could do better to get that?
I think something I learned from my previous life in sales is block schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not good at it, but this is something I know and I'm aware of that can help with work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning, if you have follow-ups you have to do, turn off your email notifications, because I'm one of those people, as soon as that email notification comes in, I'm like, oh, right, I got to respond to that. And then I respond and then I
Right.
forgot what I was doing. And so if you can block off your time, like, this is the time of day I respond to emails. This
Right.
is the time of day I pay bills. This is when, and then when you get home, it's home time. You're able to, there's that great meme of like shutting the laptop, I'm done for the day.
Right.
Because I do have kids, and
Yeah.
being able to be there and present with them is important. So I'm not
Yeah.
super great at it, but I think, blocking your schedule, and you have to be consistent, and you have to have some sense of routine.
Yes. Well, you have a plan. So that's important. You have a plan.
Yeah.
You know how to do the plan, but life gets in the way, work, things happen, not on your work-life balance schedule. But at least if you
Right.
have a plan, then you're rocking it out. Let's talk about your employees. What do you look for in an employee when you're hiring? And maybe if you want more employees in the future, what are going to be the qualities that you look for um, in an employee? And then kind of tag teaming with that, how do you foster a positive work environment / culture?
Yeah. And hiring is such a tricky thing. Typical interview questions
Mhm.
tend to not really work in this environment because people are going to say what you want them to say. We learned very quickly, we thought the ideal employee was young and hip and fashionable. And what we're really looking for is warmth. Someone who is warm and caring and compassionate, because sometimes brides are very nervous, and being able to just calm their nerves and we got you, we're going to, make all of this wonderful for you is what the brides need.
Right.
So we've been very lucky. We've learned along the way, but we have an awesome manager now who exemplifies all of that times 10. And she's even helped us kind of with that company culture of, hey, I think it would be really helpful if we had some snacks and, some sodas. So in between appointments, when it's really busy, our consultants can kind of chill for a second, get some caffeine, get a little break, and get back. She also helps us organize like a staff dinner to all just hang out. And I think it's important. We don't often work alongside each other
Mhm.
because it's kind of a one-on-one business.
Mhm.
During busy season, there's usually 3 of us there, so we get to see each other. But during slow season, you could be working solo for a while. So it's really great to be able to have that time together, learn about each other, because you also you can help each other grow when
Mhm.
you're listening. I still learn from all of my employees all the time. I'm like, oh, that's a really great idea. You're right. I should try that. So I think, it's helpful to have employees who care. We always say that, like, if you care about yourself, you care about others, it's going to be a successful employee relationship.
Right. No, that is all wonderful stuff. Um, it's so important, right? Like the environment and the culture. Somebody wants to come to work and wants to do a good job. If you foster that, you get so much more out of those that are there. And um, it's a must because in this
Yeah.
this day and time, people move. So good job
Yes.
on that. So any striving entrepreneurs that are out there wishing to jump into the world of starting their own business, what words of advice would you give to someone wishing just to jump into their own business? They might not jump into the same industry or business as you have, but if they just want to get started, what's some advice you would give them?
Probably 3 things. The first one being, if you are not mentally, physically prepared to work 7 days a week, don't start your own business. In the beginning, especially when people call out sick, or I mean, it's you're there. So that would be my first thing. Make sure you're mentally prepared, that you have childcare if needed, or you're ready. Um, the second thing would be find a mentor, have someone who's done it. And again, like you said, it doesn't have to be in the same industry, but someone who has successfully started a small business and grown it, who is willing to just kind of meet with you occasionally or take calls when you're frustrated, or just give advice. I think having a mentor is really important. And then obviously finances. If you think you have the money to start a business, but you don't have working capital to get you through 6 months if you made 0 sales, you're not ready, and whether that means getting a loan or, raising money from friends and family, however you have to do it, you want to make sure you have that working capital, because you very well could open your doors and not have a customer for the first 6 months. How are you going to sustain your business? So that would be my advice.
No, that's good. So all you striving entrepreneurs out there, listen to that. That's perfect. All right. Lastly, how can everyone get in touch with you? How do you want to be contacted? Email, phone? What is your contact info so that anybody that's hearing this needs your services and wants to come check you out can find you and contact you?
Yeah. So if you're looking to reach me personally, just with questions or advice or whatever that may be, you can contact me at info@buttercupbride.com. If you're looking to book an appointment to come in and try on dresses, whether you're a mother, a bridesmaid, or a bride, you can hop onto our website. It's buttercupbride.com, and you can book an appointment there. Or stop by. I'm usually there in the shop on Fridays pretty consistently. So stop on by.
All right. Awesome. Awesome stuff. You did a great job. Thank you so much for being part of this community and sharing your experiences and all that you're doing. And we certainly wish you the best success in the world going forward.
Thank you so much.
You got it.